Hi, welcome to Community Empowerment. I'm Roberta Martin, your host. Today with me is Pastor Kingsley Ayesu of the Christ Covenant Chapel in Brooklyn Park. Pastor, you're welcome.
Thank you.
For the past few weeks, we've been looking at the reason why there is a high rate of divorce in this 21st century as compared to the previous. And we went on and we discussed what marriage is about. We talked about divorces. We talked about the problems that cause divorce. And today we're going to do a little recap on where we left off, and then we will move on to our topic for today.
Yes, ma'am.
Pastor, would you mind telling the audience a little bit about where we have come from so far, looking at the questions?
Yes. I think for the most part, we have defined what marriage is. We've even talked about what people should look for when they're getting into marriage. But the key thing that we've been looking at is that basically we get into marriage to meet each other's needs, okay, basically. And so needs is very important, not only for marriage, but for every relationship. Why? Because everything was created to function by specific predetermined needs. You get what I'm saying? Everything, your phone has basic needs.
Right.
Okay, plants have their needs. Your car has certain needs. And yes, your car is supposed to take care of your needs, but the car can only do that after its needs have been met.
Absolutely.
You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So the principles of function are basically what we're calling needs. Does that make sense?
It makes sense.
Okay. So then we are saying that a need is a requirement that is necessary for everything to function effectively.
Right.
So in marriage, if our marriage is going to function effectively, then our needs are supposed to be met.
Right.
I think we went deeper into that, and even more than anything else, talked about the fact that everything was created with specific needs. You look at creation, everything. So there is what I call the power of needs. Okay, the power of needs, that needs control and motivate even behavior. Needs is what determines fulfillment.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Right.
And so people get frustrated when their needs are not met. They feel very unfulfilled.
Right.
And again, when needs are met, creation itself functions. Okay?
Right.
So if we produce carbon dioxide, the tree needs it to survive.
To survive.
So when the tree gets the carbon dioxide, guess what? It produces oxygen, which we need.
Which we need. Right.
You get it?
Right.
So what I'm trying to say is that when needs are met, even in creation, then creation itself functions.
Right.
So when needs are met in marriage, guess what? Marriage functions. Okay, so the key to life is basically meeting needs.
Meeting needs.
And the few principles I just want us to mention before we get into the core
Sure.
thing today,
Absolutely.
that needs are required so that, first of all, everything can function effectively. We get that point, okay?
Right.
And the goal of relationship, every relationship is the meeting of needs.
Okay.
Okay, is the meeting of needs. That's just the way everything is. And the purpose of relationship is not just the meeting of your needs, but the other person's needs.
The other person.
Okay, so when we get into marriage and all you care about is your needs, you become selfish. And then it gets to a point where the other person just gets tired of it. You know, so once we get these principles that the purpose of every relationship, including your marriage, is meeting of needs, when the needs of others are met, okay,
Right.
I want to say this.
Okay.
In our marriage, in your marriage, if your needs are met, most often than not, your husband's needs will be met.
Absolutely. I agree.
If he meets your needs, if you meet the needs of your car, you change the oil, you give it gas, you take it for servicing as needed, the car will take you anywhere you ever want to go. That means your transportation needs have been met.
Have been met.
Okay? But if you don't meet the needs of that car, guess what?
It will be malfunctioning.
It will malfunction. It will
Right.
break down on you.
Right.
Your wife is going to break down if you don't meet her needs. Your husband is going to break down if you don't meet. And that's when divorce comes in. So people go like, you know, Pastor, I am just tired. I can't do this anymore. I still love him, but I can't do this anymore. You know, so why? Because, and basically, love is what? Love is just, you know, meeting your needs, caring for you.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
caring for you. So if I care for you, and when you read the gospel, the epistles, Peter and Paul use the same word, care. And Bible says that we should cast our burdens upon Jesus because he cares.
cares.
Now, the Greek word that is used there to mean care means anticipating a need and providing that need before it arrives.
I see.
Okay?
Can you say
so
that again?
Anticipating a need and making provisions for that need before it arrives.
Okay.
Okay, so if I'm going to be a great husband, I have to anticipate what my wife's needs are, make provisions for those needs before they arrive. You get it?
Right.
And that is how Bible says that is how God deals with us. That's how we know he loves us. That's how we know he's carrying our burdens for us. You know, so this is, I think this is the basic thing for marriages to survive. And until we do that, we will struggle. Yep.
So then the question is, how do you know, or how do you meet these needs?
Okay. Well, that's a very good question. First of all, I think before you can meet the needs, you have to know what the needs are.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Because if I want to meet your needs, and we've said this, that every created thing has specific needs.
Right.
Okay. And I do not want people to assume that all women are like this. All men are like that. So every man needs this. Every woman needs. Yeah, there's some basic, fundamental, basic principles that we'll be addressing today. But for the most part, people's needs are unique to them.
Okay.
You get what I mean?
So then you are saying that every individual have specific needs.
Have
and
specific needs.
It doesn't necessarily mean that this A person need the same need for the B.
Yeah, we could have people who probably have the same needs, but
Right.
for the most part, I want people to understand that I'm not going to use Mr. A's wife has such and such a need, so my wife also has the same needs.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Or let's say Judy's husband has such and such a need, so my husband should also have that kind of need.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
Right.
That just generally we have general things that we'll be addressing today, but
Okay.
for the most part, people have very specific needs that you need to know what your spouse's needs are
Okay.
and try to meet them.
Okay.
Okay?
I
Yeah.
think then that brings us to the question of what are the needs of the man, or what are the needs of the woman?
That's very good. Good question. And again, I want to say this, that we'll be doing a lot of generalization at this
Okay,
point
at this point.
that are very fundamental to every marriage.
Okay.
Very fundamental and basic needs
Okay.
of every marriage. Okay? And when you read Genesis chapter 2 verse 18, where the idea of marriage was instituted by God,
Okay.
God started off in verse 18 by saying that it is not good for the man to be alone. So he made a helper suitable to him. God created the woman to meet a need that God had seen
Right.
in the man.
Okay.
Okay, he said
By
it's
saying-
not good for
Okay.
the man to be alone. So God said, okay, the man is alone, he has a need, I'm going to provide that need, and the need I'm going to provide is in the form of a woman.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Okay, now when you come to verse 24, so let me go back again to establish this, because a lot of people get it wrong, where we know this is the head, this, that, and we have all these, and people even go like, oh, behind every successful man there is a woman.
Okay.
In our church, we don't say that.
Right.
We say beside every successful man,
Beside.
there is a woman. Okay, when I came to the studio today, you gave me water
Right.
out of this bottle.
Right.
Okay, you
Right.
poured this water out of this bottle into this cup.
Right.
Okay, God took woman out of man.
Okay.
Am I right? Is
Yes,
that biblical?
Absolutely. Yeah.
He took woman out of man.
Man.
You took this water in this glass out of this.
Right.
Okay, so if we take this to the lab, all things being equal, the environment is controlled. When we take this to the lab and we look for the chemical components of this water in the lab, and we take this to the lab and we look for the chemical components of this water, are they going to be the same?
Absolutely.
It has to be the same. Absolutely. It came from here.
Right.
The components, everything will have to be the same.
Right.
Okay, so when God took woman out of man, he took a portion of man. So then, man and woman are equal.
Okay.
Okay, we are equal, but in our functionality, we are different. We function differently. Okay, I'm going somewhere with it.
Right.
We function differently. So based on my functions, that determines my needs.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? My computer needs something different from my car.
Right.
Because my computer functions differently from my car.
Right.
Okay, but I want us to set this basis that we are equal. The man and the woman, there is no superiority, there is no inferiority, there is nothing in our functionality. We are different. But we are created all in the image of God. Okay, now when you come to verse 24 of Genesis chapter 2, Bible says this. Bible says, and the man shall leave his father and mother and shall cleave to his wife, and the two shall become one.
Okay.
Okay. Do you realize, Sister Roberta, there is nowhere in the Bible that God says the woman will leave her father?
Absolutely.
There is nowhere in the Bible. It always says the man shall leave his father. Okay. What is the Hebrew word for father? It's Abba.
Okay.
Abba means sustainer and provider. Sustainer and provider. So the Bible is saying that, okay, the woman will leave her father and be joined to her husband. So literally, the woman never leaves her father. There's only an exchange. That is why when you go to a wedding, and it's a traditional wedding, it is never the woman who presents the wife to the husband. It's always the father who walks her down the aisle and presents her to the husband. He's saying that I am transferring that responsibility from me, the father, to you. So from this point onwards, her needs is supposed to be met by you. You're going to be the sustainer. You're going to be the breadwinner. You're going to be the provider for this one. Whatever I was to her, you are going to be. You're now going to be Abba to her. That's why a very good woman will always call her husband daddy.
That's right.
Okay. Will always call her. So you get the dynamics here. Okay. So let's try and address some basic needs. And like I said, basic needs. Okay. Of the woman.
The woman.
Okay.
So what you said earlier on was the responsibility that the man have to take.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
The responsibility that the man has to take. So whenever that is, okay. See, as we're talking, things keep coming to me. But whenever the woman becomes the sole breadwinner and the sole provider and the sole everything, and the man is totally leaning on this woman, she breaks down because she's not designed like that.
Absolutely.
She's not designed for that. Okay, let's go back to Genesis chapter 3. What created this whole sin thing? Okay, Eve takes the apple, brings it to Adam. Eve is now providing for Adam. Adam should have asked Eve, where did you get it from?
Right.
Because that is not your responsibility. I'm supposed to be giving to you.
Right.
Okay, but now a woman gave when a woman is supposed to be receiving. Okay?
Right.
Even when we come to sex, and I know people will be watching this with their children and things, so I don't want to go into the details of that. The woman most often receives.
Right.
Okay? So when Eve brought the apple, Adam should have come, where did you get this from, woman? This is my responsibility. I'm not saying women shouldn't work. That's not the idea. When you read Proverbs chapter 31, the ideal woman, she works. Okay? Rebecca works. You know, Abigail was working. Hey, Rachel was working. Okay? So these are just, you know, things that I want us to understand. But the main principle, God's idea, is that the man is supposed to be doing that and the woman is supposed to be a helpmeet to help you.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? To help you. So when that happened in Genesis chapter 3, when God came onto the scene, of course, you think God didn't know that it was Eve who plucked the apple first. God knew it. But when God came, who did he talk to first?
Eve.
He talked to Adam.
He talked to Adam.
He said,
Right.
Adam, where are you? Okay, he didn't say, what have you done? He said, where are you? It's an issue of position.
Position.
See, I placed you somewhere. You're not there. Where are you? Before the next question came, have you eaten of the fruit that I told you not to eat?
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So God looked at it and said, you know what? You have missed it. Because you have like shifted your responsibility onto this woman. It was so it wasn't supposed to be that. It's supposed to be provider. You're supposed to be sustainer for her. Okay. So the first need that women have, okay, and this may sound very basic, but that is why it is basics. Okay.
Okay.
Is women need, and I'm not saying they want.
It's a need.
It's a need.
Okay.
Women need affection and love.
I agree. I
Okay.
agree.
Women need affection and love. See, there's this thing that happened a while ago when a man is they're in counseling, and the woman goes like, you know, my husband, since we got married, he's never told me he loves me ever since. He said, when we got married, he told me, but ever since he's never said that.
Right.
The man goes like, well, when we were marrying, I told you I love you. Nothing has changed. If anything changes, I'll let you know. You know.
Right.
Now that is he thought he was being smart, but excuse my Greek, that was just stupid.
Right.
You know, because a woman wants to constantly hear
Absolutely.
that you love her.
Right.
You get it? Because she feeds off that. It's a need in her life. She needs that to function as a wife,
Right.
to function as a mother, to function as your helpmate. You get it? So the number one thing that I think, and of course we can go into details with this, but we have a few needs. So, but the one thing that I think women really need is love and affection.
So that tells me that this is one of the reasons why we have divorces going on.
Oh,
Because
absolutely.
people don't know what a woman needs.
Yes, and I agree with you.
Right.
I agree with you, because when that woman realized, and that's why it's not even just the divorce, but that's why there's a lot of cheating in the marriage. Because the man, and I tell people, whatever you were doing that made this woman fall in love with you, when you are married, don't stop doing it. Don't stop doing it. Because, you know, men, we're sweet talkers. We talk really sweet to this
Right.
woman. We say all kinds of things. We're opening the door for her. We're doing all kinds of things for her to feel that love. But once we get into marriage, now we stop doing all of that.
Now, what is the cause of that? Do you think that it's because you have come into the thing and now you just feel like you are too familiar with her and I have her now, so why should I do all
That's
this?
that's one of the things. We become too familiar with each other. Not just the man to the woman, but the man to the woman to the man.
Right.
We become too familiar with each other. We neglect those things, and we think that, you know, I don't have to do those things anymore because now we're married. But those were the things that made her fall in love with you.
Right.
You get what I'm
Right.
saying? You have to understand that whatever something comes out of, that thing needs its source
Its
to
source.
survive.
Right.
A plant came out of a tree. If you take a plant out of a tree, it dies.
Okay.
I mean, if you take the plant out of the soil,
Right.
it dies
Right.
because it came out of the soil.
Out of the soil.
Fishes come out of sea. When you take the fish out of water, what happens?
It just dies.
It dies.
Right.
Okay, so whatever I created this thing out of,
A must.
by showing that affection, by showing that love, the woman needs those things
Right.
to survive.
To survive. So you mentioned about affection. What other things do you think?
Affection and love. The woman
love.
needs, the other thing the woman needs is communication and conversation.
Would you tarry on that side? Because I think that a lot of women have a problem
Well,
with that.
that's one place we can live for forever.
Right.
And I hope we have time to actually do a whole segment on that, just communication piece.
Okay.
And the reason I'm saying that is because a lot of statistics shows that a lot of marriages break because of not so much the lack of communication, okay, but bad communication,
Okay.
poor communication, because there is never a time when we are not communicating,
Absolutely.
okay, because communication is not just talking.
Right.
I may not be talking, but my silence is even saying something.
Yeah. So non-verbal, even
Non-verbal, okay,
Right.
my not saying anything is actually saying something.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So communication is very broad. So, but yes, you're right. A lot of marriages are breaking because of the absence of communication.
Okay.
Okay, or bad communication or improper communication.
Do you think that one of the reasons is because of the fast kind of lifestyle we live in? You know, we live in a life where the woman is working 2 jobs, the man is working 2 jobs. Nobody have time, you know. After work, I got to go to school, or I got to go do this, or I got to. Is it because of that?
Let me tell you something.
Okay.
People always give that excuse. I think it's just an excuse to get away from what we're supposed to do.
Right.
Okay, so we all have 24 hours, from the from the president to the janitor.
Right.
We all get 24 hours in a day.
24 hours.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Now, how come you don't have time to spend with your wife, but you have time to watch a basketball game?
Right. Makes sense.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You don't have time to spend with your children, but you have time to sit on the phone and chat with some people. It is just what is more important to you. What are our priorities in marriage? We have to set our priorities right. I tell people, I said, look, we're both working, okay? Let us set a time aside. Let us be intentional about it, okay? Even if it's just 1 hour, just set 1 hour apart and say, it is just you and me time.
Right.
Let's talk about what happened at work. Let's talk about, and sometimes I tell people, I say, you know what? Sometimes women go like, oh, my husband doesn't talk, my husband, I say, you know what, okay, maybe he doesn't talk because you're always talking about things that interest you.
Right.
Find out what interests him, and you get him talking.
Right.
Because people are like, well, he can't talk to me, but he's able to stay on the phone with his friends and chat for 1 hour, but he can't talk to me for 15 minutes. Well, maybe they're talking about things that interest him.
Right.
So find out what are the things that interest him and get him to talk.
So then that shifts us now to what are the needs of the man too?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So the first need for the woman is love and affection.
Right.
Secondly is communication and conversation. Women just want you to know what's up.
And they talk.
And they talk. Okay?
Right.
And they talk. The average woman talks. You know, researchers say the average woman uses about 6,000 words a day.
Oh.
The average man uses 2,000 words a day.
Wow.
Okay? That's a whole lot of words.
That's a lot of talking.
Okay?
That's a lot of talking.
Yeah, so you look at it, the man goes to work, he's talking, he talks to his friends. By the time he gets home, he's run out of the 2,000 words. Probably doesn't have a whole lot left. Okay, so we have to be intentional. We have to be creative, okay, to find things that will interest the man and get him to talk. Because the woman is going to feed off that. Okay. So
let's see. Let me ask you this. So what are some of the things that? So I'm married. I have a husband, and I'm thinking, what is it that the man need? You know, because is it that I have to steady the man, or what is it that I have to do to be able to? So he's meeting my needs, but maybe I am not
meeting his needs.
Right.
Okay. I just talked about 2 of the needs for the woman.
Right.
Let me talk about 2 of the needs of the man.
Okay.
The man needs, and this may sound, you know, a little bit, what's the word I'm looking for? Not so inappropriate, but maybe not conducive for under 18. Okay. But men need sexual fulfillment.
Okay.
Okay. Men don't want sex. Men need sex.
It's a need.
It's a need.
Okay.
It's a need. And that's why you realize men, for the most part, men are always ready for sex.
Absolutely.
Okay. Women, you know, we have to motivate you. You know,
that's true.
We have to create the atmosphere. We have to generate things for you. But men, I mean, a man can just see his wife naked and be turned on like that. Okay. A man, how many times do you see commercial where they're using a naked man's body to sell something.
No.
It doesn't move nobody.
No.
Okay?
Right.
But they use all these women even to sell water because men are moved by that. Okay? Men are moved by sight. Women are moved by touch.
Right.
Okay? So when a man has that sexual need and that need is not met, he malfunctions. The man is not functioning properly. And sometimes people come to me.
A man can just be so much in love with the wife and everything, and next thing you know, the man is gone out, maybe having some sexual lifestyle there.
Of course.
It's because maybe...
It's because that need is not met. And
even though the man loved the wife
absolutely, absolutely. Absolutely. A lot of people, now get this, a lot of normal people, and I have to use the word normal.
Right.
The average person who cheats on his wife, for the most part, it is not because they just want to do that. You know, a lot of people come to me who they have been, you know, cheating in the marriage. I mean, outside of church, in church, whatever you want to call it. And majority of the time, when I'm counseling them, and the woman goes like, my husband went out and this, that, and that. Okay. The first thing I turn to the wife is, what is happening at home? What is the situation at home? And sometimes they get upset. It's like, well, Pastor, why are you asking me? He's the one who did this. He's the one who... Yeah, I understand what he did. But do you understand that there might be something happening at home? Right. I'm not excusing what he did. It is wrong. It's unacceptable. But there is, most often than not, there is a reason why the man does that.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So sometimes women use sex to get things. Women use sex to, you know, just teach the man a lesson. Or if you don't do this, then I'm not going to do that. If he's not doing this, then I'm not. Well, guess what?
He's going to be.
The first segment we did, we talked about the car situation.
Right.
You have your car. The car needs gasoline. Okay?
Right.
If you go to Super America and you don't find gasoline,
right,
what do? You go to Holiday.
Right.
If you get to Holiday and you go somewhere else because you need
and you keep going.
gas. You keep going until you find it.
Right. Because it's a need for
exactly. You. That's why a CEO has the most beautiful, gorgeous wife you can think of. He has everything going for him, and yet will go and sleep with a prostitute. You look at the prostitute, look at his wife. It's like, what were you thinking?
Right.
No, he had a need.
He had a need. And he feel like he got to fulfill the need.
The need has to be fulfilled. The need has to be fulfilled. So as much as women need love and affection, men need sexual fulfillment. And so I tell women, listen, if he's offended you and you cannot have sexual relation with him because of what he's done, sit him down, deal with it. See, don't go to, Bible says, do not go to bed angry.
Angry.
Okay, this is how I interpret it. Stay up and fight.
Until you solve it, huh?
Yes. Okay, so men need sexual fulfillment. The next thing men need is, I call it recreational companionship.
You want to break it down?
Yes, men like recreation. We like sports. We like things like that. Okay, and for the most part, we like our women to be in tune with us, at least to a certain level. Okay, so I talked about this. I like basketball. I like professional sports. Okay, I like basketball. I should say I love basketball. Okay, so my wife never used to care about basketball. She never did. And when we got married and she realizes that, you know, dude cares about basketball. Okay, instead of her looking at me and saying, you know, what is this about this stupid game? And sometimes that's what women do.
Right.
See, I need you to come talk to me. I need conversation. I need communication.
True.
Yeah, that's true. I understand
that's
that.
True.
Then you go like, what is this thing about this basketball? You're always watching basketball.
You take
this stupid game. And then turn it off. Then, okay, see, right there.
Right.
You know you're not going to get his attention.
You won't.
Because that man wants that. He needs that. So what the wise woman does is, and I thank God for my wife, because when she figured it out, what she does is she'll go to the kitchen, make me some popcorn, get me some juice, come and sit with me, watch the game with me.
Even though she don't have no interest
She
in
did
that.
not have any interest. Now she knows a little bit about basketball. She knows the names. She knows Kobe Bryant. She knows, you know, because she realized that, okay, this is my need, and if I'm going to function well, she's going to have to meet that need for me. So she sits with me. We watch the basketball. It takes 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever. She's patient. She watches with me. And when I'm not home, she will even record it for me because she knows that I would like to watch it.
Right.
Now, when we're done with that basketball, guess what? Whatever she needs, she's going to get it.
So then it brings a peaceful atmosphere.
Yes.
You may not like it as a woman,
No.
but just because the man likes that, you
Okay.
respect that. Is that what you're saying?
Let's go back to the car.
Okay.
Do you like gas?
I really don't.
You don't
care.
like gas?
No.
You like orange juice
Right.
or apple juice.
Right.
Why do you always keep going to the gas station?
Because my car needs
Because
to
your
get
car needs gas.
for
So
me
my
to be
wife
able to-
will care less about basketball, but
Right.
because I need basketball, she has to make provisions to watch basketball with me. And guess what? Whilst we're doing that, we're spending time with each other.
Right.
We're talking.
Community.
Because you can get me to talk basketball.
Right.
You can get me to talk politics.
Right.
And she start talking, and we're having conversation.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
And it's just bridging you
And
two
it's
together.
bringing you together. It's bringing you together because that is what we really need in marriages. That oneness. Bible says, and the two shall become one. That togetherness, that unity, that cleaving. You get it? And so when that is done and we've watched my basketball, listen, I don't mind watching whatever. She wants to watch Nigerian movie, 6 parts, I'll watch 7 parts with her. You get
Right. Because now she have helped you to fulfill what
Yes.
your needs are,
Yes.
and now you got to help her
Yes.
fulfill her needs. So
Yes.
we looked at, for the sake of the men, we looked at
Sexual fulfillment.
sexual fulfillment,
recreational companionship.
companionship.
Yes. And let me just jump into the third one because it is linked to the first need of a man. So let me
Okay.
jump to the third need of a man. A man needs an attractive wife.
Oh, really?
Okay. And let me say this. Some people may look at me and say, you know what, that is very flimsy. That is being too fleshy. Okay. Oh, that's fine.
Right.
Okay. I'm not going to argue with that. But whether you like it or not, the reality is every man wants an attractive woman. Okay. So what I tell women is, listen, the man saw you before he heard you.
Okay.
Okay. There was something about the physical person that the man saw that was attracted to him, that made him even want to talk to you and ask you out. If you were not physically attracted to him, he would never have invited you out.
I agree.
Okay. So don't tell me, oh, yes, he may marry you because you have a good character, whatever that means. Maybe he married you because you're a hardworking woman. Maybe he married you. Yeah. But the basic truth is that there was something physical about you that attracted him.
So that means that he saw you and he saw something.
He saw something.
Right.
Now, what I tell women is this. You want to continue being attractive to him.
I think I agree with you because a lot of us women think, okay, now I'm with the man. You know, I don't care about anything else.
Why should I do my nails?
Right.
Why should I
And
do
they
my
just
hair?
stay home and just...
Why should I wear something attractive? Well, that's what turns a man on. A man is turned on by what we see. So if he comes home and you're wearing this nightgown that goes from your neck all the way down to your feet,
Right.
you're in trouble.
You're in trouble. Because what
He's not
happens
attracted.
if he goes out and something else attract him?
There you go. There you go. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So stay attractive. Do your hair. Don't only do your hair because you're going for a show or something. Do your hair for him. Do your nails for him. Wear something
I have this
attractive
question. I have a question
for him.
about that then.
Okay.
What about, you know, the idea that a woman feel like, okay, I like this color on me, or I like this outfit on me, or maybe I like this type of hairstyle, and you think that you look gorgeous, you know, you get your hair done, and then you come home and he look at you, oh, that, you need to get that out of it, you know.
Okay.
You need to change this clothes, I don't like it.
Okay.
But then there's friction, because
Okay.
the woman thinks she look okay with that, and that's what she feel good
Feel
about.
good, yeah.
But the man is saying, that really don't fly
Okay.
too well.
Okay, that's a very good observation, because one of the things we have to realize with that situation is that it gets to a point where the men get controlling. Okay, and women don't like that. She doesn't want you control. Tell, okay, you can't wear this, you can't wear that, you can do this. No, that's not what we're talking about here. But if you say it very nicely to that woman, okay, I mean, my wife wears things that I'm not particularly, you know, and we are at the point where she would check with me for the most part. Do you like this?
Right.
You know, it's not so much for me to tell her what she can wear or not wear.
Right.
But I think we've gotten to the point where she would always check and say, hey, I'll pick up a tie and say, what do you think about this tie and this shirt? You get it? She's like, I think I prefer that tie to this one. This doesn't go. And so we have that level of communication. I think that is important. And you have to come to the point where you say it in a way that she doesn't take offense. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
That she doesn't take offense. So here comes the woman with a certain hairstyle that I'm going to look at her and say, it doesn't look like you. It doesn't look like you. I like that one you did last week much better than this one. You know, and she knows me. She goes like, you don't like it. I know you don't like it. Okay. Okay, so yeah, I said it, but it doesn't sound offensive.
Right.
It doesn't sound like I'm controlling.
It's the way you put
It's
it.
the way you approach it. It's
Right.
the way you tell, because she's not your child.
Right. Right.
You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So
Last week you did mention something about respect in your communication. You talk about, you said some of the things that men also desire is respect.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Wow.
It's a need. Men need respect. Women need love. Men need respect. Men interpret respect to mean love. Okay. So I always tell women, don't disrespect your husband and hope to maintain his love. It doesn't work. You get it? So, and respect means, you know, a lot of things. A lot of things. I hold you in high esteem. I honor you. I respect you. You may, okay, a man may say something even totally and completely stupid. Okay, but if I'm his wife, I'm not going to tell him that's stupid. You know, I'm going to show him respect. I'm going to respect him and his world. Okay, I was giving this example. Let's say you're married to a janitor, and you are a CEO, but your husband is a janitor. Okay, and so he comes home with a paycheck of $500, and you come home with a paycheck of $5,000 or $50,000 a month. Okay, now the man brings that $500 into the family coffers. Say, oh, keep your money. We're fine. We don't need it. Okay, right there, you have destroyed his ego. You have destroyed his manhood. You have disrespected him, and it would take a very long time for that man to be a husband to you. Okay, yeah, it may be small. Yeah, he's a janitor, but I'm going to respect that. I'm going to respect his world. I'm going to respect him and respect his $500. And I'm going to talk to him with all the dignity and respect he needs from me, not because he brought. Now, and again, when you look at these things, when I'm disrespectful of you, okay, that is just telling you that I really have no honor for you. I don't honor you. I don't care about you, because if I care about you, I will respect you. You get what I'm saying? If I care about you, I'll respect your needs. If I care about you, I'll respect. And sometimes that is also the reason why some people can't communicate with their spouses. Because anytime I'm talking to you and you think my suggestions and my ideas are stupid, guess what? I'm not going to be talking to you. I'm not going to give you any advice because you think it's stupid anyways. So when I respect your ideas, then we can have communication.
Right.
Okay, you brought me on your show because you thought I have something to offer your audience.
Absolutely.
You respect my views
Yes.
on this subject. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Maybe if you want to talk about money, you probably wouldn't come to me. Okay? Because maybe you don't think I'm an authority in that field. So I may have some views, but you rather go to someone who you think is an authority on money issues and bring that person to your show to speak on money.
Okay.
And that makes absolute and complete sense.
Okay.
So if I am asking for your opinion, I'm making a statement by saying that I respect your opinion and I do believe that you have something to offer on the subject.
Right.
Okay. But if I always put you down and I don't regard what you say or anything, I am disrespecting you, but I'm also creating an atmosphere that is crippling to you, that you would not be able to feel free and feel comfortable to even have a decent conversation or communication with me.
Right. I want us to, I want to go back to the issue about sex.
Okay.
Yeah?
Okay.
And I know that we have people that are under 18, so we're
Okay.
going to be very careful with that.
Sure,
but I also
absolutely.
know that this is for adults, so we still can talk about some of
Okay.
these things here. How about, because I've had these things before, you know, how about, you know, couples are married and it's always the man who keep coming for the issue of sex, you
Okay.
know, because I see it's, you know, and I have experienced that before,
Okay.
where
Okay.
you don't feel like, you know, and the man is coming and coming and coming
Yeah.
and you ain't saying nothing, you know.
Okay.
And sometimes they get offense and say, well, so why don't you?
Don't you?
Yeah.
Well, I always tell women, again, let's go back to the first point.
Okay.
When men need sex.
Sex.
They need it.
Need
It's
it.
a
It's a
need.
need. Okay.
Women just love
Affection.
and affection. So a woman can be very okay if you can cuddle with her
Right.
in bed
Right.
and not have any sexual intercourse.
Right.
Just hold me. Tell me you love me. Tell me you're not going to leave me. Just tell me some sweet things.
Right.
Just that love and affection, and she'll be fine.
Right.
And she can go on with that for a long time.
Right.
The man, however, needs sex.
Right.
Okay. So what I tell women is that don't always wait for the man. Okay. Don't always wait for them, because sometimes, tell you honestly, it gets a little bit difficult when the man is always the one who is initiating it.
Right.
Because it gets to a point where the man wonders, does she even want me? Does she still want me? You get what I'm saying? So every now and then, before he gets into the bedroom, you lay the bed, you're wearing something very provocative just for him. And let him know, I'm going to put something on you today.
So that tells me that you're saying you have to be intentional
You
with
absolutely.
that. Wear something that is
Absolutely.
provocative.
Oh, yes.
Attractive.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Because men are, you know, we're moved by
You
sight.
want to see something.
So wear something provocative, you know.
I also
just-
would like to say that, you know, sometimes with women, I think that you talked about touching and feeling, you know, it can trigger a woman's mind too to, you
Of
know,
course.
your hormones, I guess, will make you begin to feel like you.
Well, you have to tell me that.
I think that if first, you know, the first lady's here, she would do justice to this.
Yes,
You know.
yes.
But I think that when you said that, you know, you have to know the woman. You have to know what she wants.
Yeah.
And sometimes, like you said earlier, you don't have to keep going. Maybe you can show an action.
Absolutely.
You know.
Yes.
But I also like the idea when you said, try to provoke the man.
Yes.
With things that you wear and
Yes.
things that you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And you can drop things here and there, you know, drop things here and there to let him know that, you know, I'm
Creative.
not, yeah, I'm not saying such and such, but by these signs, I want you to know that, you know,
Right.
I need you
Right.
and I want you. And it makes a man feel very good
Right.
that my wife, you know, needs me. My
It's a
wife
need.
wants me. You get what I'm saying? And don't get me wrong again. I'm not advocating for, you know, sex outside of marriage.
Right.
But if you don't make him feel that way, and he goes to work, and his secretary, his assistant, some co-worker makes him feel that way, the next thing you know, this good man who never thought of cheating outside of his marriage is going out with another woman. He never planned it. But here is a woman who made him feel needed and wanted. You get what I'm saying? And that's why, and again, even again with the women, okay, like I said initially, women want to hear you say and tell them how good they look. Okay. Men, yeah, it's okay to tell me I look good in my suit or whatever, but I really don't feed off that. But women do.
Absolutely.
You see, so
Yeah.
when a woman does her hair, it's a new hairdo, and she walks home, dude, open your eyes. Tell her you've seen it.
Right.
Tell her you have recognized and acknowledged the fact that she just did her hair.
Right.
So, hey, babe, I like the hair. Looks good on you. Okay? Don't just sit like nothing happened. Because guess what? Again, she goes to work. And this colleague looks at her, is that a new hairdo? She says, yes. Guess what? The next thing you know, this woman is talking to this man that she doesn't even care about. But the man is just showing her affection. Affection. The woman sees that, and the woman feeds off that, and the woman needs that. Okay?
Right.
So it's imperative that men, and sometimes and especially, you know, men from Africa and other continents and things go like, well, you know, I don't know how to show affection. And dude, learn. You don't know how? Get a book. Go for counseling or something.
Right.
Because she needs it. You know, if you need counseling, go talk to a counselor. Get some help.
Right.
You know, because she's not going to be in there. It gets boring. You know, it gets boring. And you need to spice it up.
And you ask questions like, is that all there is to marriage?
Exactly.
If that's what it is. I don't think.
Then
really,
it's not worth it.
You know, because you want something so bad, but then you get there and you realize, is that what there is to it?
Yep.
You know.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I hope people will really understand, you know, this.
With the journey that you have taken us through, with all that we've been talking about, I realized that, you know, on both sides, the man and the woman, we all get divorced for basic things.
Oh, absolutely.
You know,
absolutely.
somebody showed me affection, I didn't get it home, and so now I have divorced, I'm gone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People throw away 20, 30 years marriage and just go over there and start all over based on just a phone call that you have, you know, like you said, you have to, it's not that you don't know how to communicate. It's not that there's lack of communication, but how to communicate. I think that you would do some justice on that.
And women, again, needs honesty and openness in that communication. Tell her the truth. You know, be open. So let's say I get a promotion at work, okay? I want my wife to be the first person to hear that news.
Right.
Okay. Now, if you don't communicate that to her and she hears it from somewhere else, she becomes very bitter and very angry. Okay. Because, you know, communication, information is power. Okay. So whoever has that information has a little bit of power. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So the woman needs openness. The woman needs honesty. Your wife needs you to be open. And that's a difficult thing for men, because a lot of men, we are bottled in. A lot of men don't know how to open up.
Why is it? Why is it so? Why do you think men don't feel like they should communicate? They rather keep things in. Is it that the woman, I really don't understand.
Well, sometimes it's, well, first of all, it's just the way we're built.
Okay.
Okay, it's just the way we're built. But sometimes also, it depends on how the woman has related to the man in the past. You get what I'm saying? When he opened up to you in the past, what was your response?
Oh, that brings
how did you
something
react to
in
it?
mind, you know, with what you said. You know, sometimes my husband will come and he will feel like he want to talk about something, and I'm busy studying something. My mind is not on what he's doing. He want to talk about.
Okay.
But I've learned him so that I know that when he comes, he doesn't come often. So when he come and I notice the changes in his face, I know he want to talk about something.
Okay.
If I still have the book open, it means I'm not giving him attention to him. That's what he thinks. So I just have to, you know, close the book and just listen.
There you go.
Now, when I listen to what he's saying, then it makes him feel like, you know, you listening. You know, and you listening. I may not have the answers to whatever he's saying.
Of course.
But I just listen.
Of course.
And then I realized that, oh, the man keep coming. You know, but initially I think what it is you think that your man is not speaking out. Well, he's not speaking out because that's just what you said. You are not making an effort.
Exactly.
And you had said something before. You said, lend the man. Steady his ways.
Yep. Yep. Sometimes if you have studied your man and you know your man, okay, when there is a change in the man, you would notice. And when you notice that change, get to him. Let him talk to you, okay? Because it's difficult for men, okay? Let's face it. It's difficult for men to open up and communicate and things like that. But when you have realized that is why a lot more men commit suicide than women, because we're not talking to anybody, and we just bottled everything inside, and that's why some men even become violent, because he's bottled a lot of things inside, and then he explodes. And the one goes like, no, Pastor, he was such a gentleman. He's always been so nice, and I don't know where this is coming from. Right. Well, he's bottled a lot of things inside, and he's just exploding, you know. So talk to him. Say, honey, this is not you. What is it? Talk to me. And when a man talks to a woman, he's not always looking for solutions. Right. Sometimes he just wants somebody to listen. Okay, and the same goes for a woman. It's not, a lot of times when a woman talks to a man, we think, oh, he wants answers. He wants you to solve the problems. Well, listen, trust me, most of the time your wife knows what she's going to do. Right, she knows the answer. She knows how to fix it. Right. She just wants somebody to listen. Right. You know, she wants somebody to empathize with her. She wants somebody to come into her world and just feel the way she feels. Right. You know, some people go like, oh, so you're crying just because of this? Well, dude, you are wired differently, okay? So if you can cry with her, just hold her. And this is what I suggest to men. Let me suggest the same thing to our audience before we go off today. Right. That your wife needs at least 10 seconds a day of hugging. Just hug her. Put your arms around that woman for 10 seconds, just 10 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's it. It doesn't even take much. You don't even have to say anything. Just hold her for 10 seconds. And that woman is going to do things that you never, ever expected of her. You know, because she needs that. It's very comforting. She feels protected. She feels like, I am safe as long as this man is here. She feels like, ain't nothing going to happen to me for as long as he's here. You know, so just do that. I tell men, just 10 seconds. Just hug her, squeeze as hard as you can, and make sure you don't break anything, okay? Just. We have 7 minutes to be done, and I really have enjoyed this particular topic. I really have. I've learned a lot, and I hope that the viewers have learned a lot too. So in a nutshell, how do you finalize this whole topic? Because I know we'll be shifting to something else. Yes. Yeah, so. Yes. Again, unfortunately, we couldn't deal with all the needs, but I think we've dealt with the basic ones that hopefully people will be able to not just be, you know, like the Bible says, don't just be hearers of the word, but be doers of it. You know, I have said this, and without sounding as a male chauvinist, or I'm not trying to put women down. I'm not trying to, you know, I don't want people to look at this in a derogatory term, but it doesn't take a whole lot to make a woman happy. Okay, I hope some man is listening. It doesn't take a whole lot to make your woman happy. It's just the little things. It's just the little things. That is why a woman can be married to a millionaire and leave the millionaire and be married to a janitor. Right. You get what I'm saying? Right. Because if that janitor shows her that he cares, he loves, and he's always going to be there for her, she would rather live in a studio with a janitor than to live in a mansion with a man who doesn't care. You get what I'm saying? Right. So just let your wife know that you care. You say, Pastor, I care. Yeah, but you have to express it. You have to express it. And I don't know if I've said this on our show before, but when I'm trying to show you love, it's not just enough for me to show you love. You have to interpret it to mean love. You get what I'm saying? If I buy a gift for you and I say, hey, Sister Roberta, this is for it, I'm trying to express love. If you do not interpret that to mean love, then all my effort is useless. Okay, so we have to communicate and make sure that our spouses are interpreting exactly what we are trying to communicate. They have to understand it. Because if I'm sending message and you are not receiving it that way, there has not been communication.
Right.
You get it? So it has to be sent, and it has to be received in the way it was intended to be received. And I want to just say this, and in my final thoughts, that you know what? Every marriage can work if you work it.
If you work it.
Every marriage can work if you work it. This is a natural physical thing, that anything left to itself over a long period of time will die.
Right.
If we leave this building, this wonderful building we're in, if we leave it unattended, don't do anything to it. Just leave it. You come back a few years and it will all be broken down.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
It's the same thing with our marriage. If you leave it unattended and just go back and forth, and we're busy with this and this and this and not take care of it, and just don't take care of that marriage, it is going to break apart. We don't even have to do anything negative. Just neglect it. Just neglecting it, and it will be destroyed. But if we keep working on it, and if we keep trying, and we make it our mind that divorce is not in my dictionary, it is not part of the options that I have in my marriage, then we will work towards it. And I believe that if we work it will work.
It will work.
Yes.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate this. We've learned a lot. Viewers, we just want to thank you so much for joining Community Empowerment. Try and join us again same time next week. Thank you.
Thank you.
There's a movement afoot. Arthritis is America's most common cause of disability. Walking just 30 minutes a day can ease joint pain, improve mobility, and stop the progression of the disease. Start moving now to prevent and control arthritis. And let's move together to raise funds for a cure. Join the movement and participate in the arthritis walk in your area. Log on to letsmovetogether.org and start moving today.
Hi, I'm Emmitt Smith. Sports has given me a lot to smile about over the years, but as an athlete and the father of young athletes, I know how important it is to protect yourself from injury. That's why I've teamed up with the American Association of Orthodontists to encourage athletes of all ages to play it safe when it comes to sports. I've seen firsthand how quickly an accident can happen when out on the field, the court, or even the dance floor. And because orthodontists are specialists in helping kids and young adults obtain a healthy, beautiful smile, the last thing they want to see is a patient get injured because they weren't properly equipped. No matter the sport, wearing protective gear like mouth guards, face masks, and helmets can reduce the risk of injury and keep you in the game. Athletic competition brings some of the greatest joys in life. But there's nothing more rewarding than a lifetime of healthy, beautiful smiles. For more information on how you can play it safe, visit braces.org.
I'm a big believer in the power of we. We can tackle the tough challenges we face and build community through service and volunteering. The reality is, we're all in this together. It's time for you to raise your hand. Go to serve.gov and get involved in something you believe in.
How will you raise your hand when they call your name?
Are you with me?
We weren't born